Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, how you doing?
Good, good.
Good.
Yeah.
What are your names?
I'm Daisy.
Hi, Daisy.
I'm Sam.
Hi, Sam. And Daisy, where did you grow up?
I grew up in South London, in Streatham.
And I grew up in Eastcote in northwest London.
And Daisy, what's been the most predominant practice of your life that you've done?
I started off in sort of classic studio-based vinyasa classes and then found the Ashtanga and the Mysore practice and have really stayed around that area because I really enjoy it.
And why did you stay there?
I really like the structure but also the flexibility within the practice. There was something about the sequence that just really helped me get deeper into the practice, and the self-practice really developed and made me so confident in my mindfulness practice, and it just made me feel better spiritually and physically, and I love it.
How long ago did you start?
I started yoga in about 2014, and then 2015 actually went to Mysore. Didn't really know what I was getting into. I just thought, oh, there's this month-long course on yoga, I'm going to go and do it. And it happened to be a Mysore Ashtanga course, and that was really the beginning of learning about the practice.
Amazing. And then what about you, Sam?
I sort of mucked around with various forms of yoga just over 10 years ago, but really it all kicked off in earnest when Daisy and I got together in 2016, and I started going much more regularly to a mixture of classes. But it's only been about 3 months ago that I started coming here, and I think what I've appreciated, for similar reasons to Daisy actually, of having the structure of the sequence, and that being able to hone in on each sequence more than I felt I could in other classes, and also because it's self-practice, that I can go at my speed, my breath, and of course get help as and when I need it.
How have you found it's helped you, like just doing it this way, rather than having to follow someone at the front of a class? What does it find it's helped you to kind of find for yourself?
It's allowing me, it's giving me the space, the mental space to be able to really focus in on where I am within my body, what I can and cannot do at this point, and be able to find, through help, my way round, rather than having to feel like you're, being pushed along by the rest of the class.
Yeah. And so you both came to Stillpoint together, but Daisy, you came like quite a while back.
Yeah.
So you brought him along.
Yeah, I came when I got back from doing the Mysore training. This was the Mysore class that I found in London that I enjoyed the most, and then I really wanted Sam to come because I could see that he really enjoyed going to yoga in lead classes, but I could see that also there was a certain amount of frustration there, I think, and almost a reluctance to go to practice, or that it didn't feel like a chore, because I think you always enjoyed it, but I just knew that there was something in the self-practice that he would really enjoy, and that the help that he'd get, I think, I knew that you'd get a lot more out of it than a class. Because
my frustration really stemmed from the fact that if I don't know what to do, then there's no chance. But I have absolute faith in what my body can do, and my own persistence in something will actually come through. So if I'm shown what to do, in time I will be able to do something. And that's why this form of practice has been an absolute godsend.
Mm-hmm. And through the pandemic, both of us did quite a lot of self-practice just at home, and supporting studios and trying to do classes, but actually finding that just doing it on our own was much more productive, and I felt like I got a lot more out of it for myself. So I certainly had a renewed passion to come back to self-practice.
And so you did come back to self-practice,
Yeah.
and you brought So you bought 2 things along when you came back.
Yeah. Sort of
This one and this one.
this baby and this baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you walked back in and went, hello again. What have we got here?
Yeah.
There's this really lovely, it was lovely to see you. But it's just, how has it been?
It's been amazing. I was really nervous to come back because I think I always had a perception of self-practice, just an expectation of myself that because I do have a very strong practice. So I think I wanted to come and do every pose and still be able to do inversions and arm balances and vinyasas and everything. And I was quite nervous to come back. And it's been amazing, the kind of how at ease I felt and how I've really learned. Well, I learned very quickly to just accept what was happening in my body and the changes that were happening and the things that you simply, or my body just couldn't do after a while, just because this is getting so much bigger and so much more present, and it's got a mind of its own. It doesn't like it when I do forward folds, and it's just been a lovely place because I love yoga, and I do feel like I want a stronger practice of yoga. I didn't really want to go to a led pregnancy class or anything like that, whereas here I felt like I can really do as much or as little as I like when I like. So I can try the things that feel a bit more challenging that maybe somewhere else might not encourage. It might be more of a yin or a more relaxing, whereas I feel like I can still get what I want out of the class and very safely, and get pointers of what I can do that's not a forward fold.
And how's it been for you, Sam, like being with Daisy, as for you as a partner, learning to practice, but also being with her in the room?
Well, it's gaining that perspective of what it must be like for the mother to just simply be carrying this weight around, this ever-increasing weight, and all the hurdles and things that it brings up, and seeing somebody deal with those challenges, because obviously we can't take over that responsibility in quite the same way. We can obviously be supportive as possible and try and understand what it's like, but I think witnessing what you're having to do, how you're having to change things in yoga, but also just in day-to-day life, for me it's been a good education. I think understanding the toil that it takes.
Well, I think actually for me it's interesting coming to yoga because I'm made aware of how different my body is within days, actually. If I've had a week of not feeling great and I haven't been to practice, and then I come back and suddenly, I am like 3 or 4 centimeters bigger than I was the last time that I came, or it's bigger, or it's for me it's been really interesting to see how quickly and how much has changed in a short space of time, and will continue to change.
How has it been for you, feeling deeply those changes and using the practice to be able to navigate that?
It's been great, because I think if I didn't have the practice, I don't think you'd notice necessarily. I also think it's so important, as I learn more about what's to come and the actual birth itself, I feel so confident that the practice is going to help me no end. Just the breathing that I now have automatically, or the focus, or opening up, and you can get very there's lots of cramps and pains that happen during pregnancy as you get bigger, and muscles that you didn't know you had. And so being able to kind of stretch those out, and it just your feeling of well-being is so much better. And the good hormones in your body just flourish. I can feel them when I do yoga. You have to calm down. Adrenaline is nowhere near the practice. So, and that's exactly where you need to be to have to have a healthy birth experience.
Well, we look forward to hearing about that.
Yeah, it might not work. No, it will, it will.
Well,
It will work.
well, let's see. So how was it?
Amazing.
And who have we got here?
This is Atticus.
Welcome to the world, Atticus. So Daisy, how are you?
Yeah, good, good. I mean, he's here and that's really amazing and intense and a complete life change, but the most incredible emotional experience I've ever been through, really. I can't really describe it, but it just feels, I don't know, just everything you feel. You feel amazing highs of love, and a love that I've never really felt before, because it's just an automatic thing, but also kind of intense fear as well, and trepidation. But yeah, everything is incredible, ultimately.
How about you, Sam? How are you?
I think yeah, probably beyond words, really. It's a bit of a useless answer, but I mean, I'd echo what Daisy said, but
So how was the process from the last time we spoke? Like, we were speaking just before, probably about a month before. How did it go for you?
Yeah, it was good. It got bigger and bigger and heavier and heavier. And this one decided to come a little bit earlier than his due date. But he was very quick to come. So he got a bit of a shock, we think, coming into the world. But he's very well. He doesn't look like it right now, but he's really happy.
he's revving up.
And so, like, how has it been together for you both, like, suddenly in this new version of your family?
It doesn't seem like too much of a shock in some ways. That's me speaking. But I think, given that it's our first, everything is a learning curve. And I think we're probably doing okay. You know? We'd be doing really well if we were all sleeping.
No, I think we're doing really well.
Yeah.
I think he's a really good baby. I think we had a bit of a tough start. You know, I don't think it's easy for anyone to. I think we're all slightly made to believe that everything's going to be really easy once you have the baby in your arms, but it's not really. And we struggled a little bit, but we got over that, and we're really happy now. And now he's going to sleep.
And, like, was there anything to do with, like, your practice, you know, that helped you personally, like, with his birth, with the process of going through?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was quite a complicated birth. There were a lot of things and a lot of dangers and issues, and just having being really calm and being able to stay in a really mindful space where you can make decisions quite clearly, and I don't want to say non-emotionally, but to try and see them objectively and make the best decision for everyone, rather than just panicking and getting anxious and feelings of fear and well, I did feel those feelings, but to be able to manage them and put them in perspective, I guess, and just try and see beyond, and just see that, you know, we'll have this beautiful baby at the end of it, and that you have to do everything to make sure that he's healthy as well as you. And I think definitely I've found through the practice of yoga is the mindfulness and the still space that you hold within yourself. really helped. What about you?
I'm going to say something that's quite a bit of a cliche, but I'd say that nothing really matters anymore. And I think that's probably a bit of a get-out clause for so many things. But he is now our most important, what's the word? I was about to say thing, but I don't really want to call him a thing, but you know what I mean. It just puts things in perspective. Cliche, but it's absolutely true.
I would say physically, having a good yoga practice is great because there's a lot of sitting up, sitting down, holding the baby, bending over. So actually being quite in physically good condition is great.
Trying to maintain a good posture when it's the middle of the night and you're feeding him from the bottle and on the boob, I guess.
Lifting him up and down. Even though he's quite tiny, you feel it after a while.
Yeah, you need some stamina when you're holding on to him for a while.
Look at you.
And some cushions.
And so what do you think about, through all of this process and practice and stuff, but more importantly, like how practice has taught you about this process and where you are now? What would you think you'd like to share with others?
I think just more on what I said earlier of you've just got to clear away all of that noise and all of the thoughts and the anxieties that, in this world are all around us all the time, and we're constantly distracted and we're constantly being told one thing and told the other, whereas if you can have the strength and the ability to sort of put that all to one side, or not to ignore it, if you want to let things inform your opinion or anything like that, then that's absolutely fine, but just being able to be strong within yourself. And again, it sounds like a cliche, but I've definitely felt mother's intuition and being able to trust myself and trust my opinion and what I think is going on with us as a unit. And that's definitely a very mindful, disciplined practice and approach that I think we have because of how we are and how we practice.
Yeah, and an inner awareness of where you are, I think, is pretty important, because when you're so tired and you're wondering what on earth am I meant to be doing, I think just having some sort of awareness of where you are and then an acceptance of, there's only so much I can do right now. And it's not a bad starting point.
Thank you both so much for sharing this journey with Agnes. I appreciate you both and I wish you all the best.
And he's fast asleep now too.
Thank you.